James Bond.
Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch, and today back to the 5-minute review format and back to a bargain basement Casio. This one, the AE1200 WH-1AV, also known as the Casio Royale. Now I had a look at this watch as part of a roundup of 5 Casios I did. I'll put a link to the description there, but today it gets 5 minutes on its own. Usual format. First, we'll have a look at the watch itself, some specifications and features, then talk about why I bought this particular watch, and then whether or not I think you should be buying one of these. So why Casio Royale? Well, there's a fairly thin thread there. Oh, by the way, I bought this one on Amazon, came with all of its packaging. They've got these on Amazon for $15 US. Just ridiculous for the watch that you're actually getting here. I'm in Australia, if you hadn't guessed. I paid a whole 27 Australian dollars to get this one shipped over here. A really, really good price for a lot of watch. So Casio Royale, because it kind of looks like a Seiko that Roger Moore wore an Octopussy in 1983. Bit of a thin thread there, but nonetheless it adds to this watch's already considerable appeal. 42 millimeters diameter, 12.5 millimeters thick. Now I think that's quite a nice aesthetic. Looks really good on my wrist. I'll pop it on there later on. Halfway between the smaller F91W size of Casio and the much bigger G-Shock range. I don't really enjoy the G-Shocks, always a little bit too chunky, kind of limits what you can wear with them, I find. 18mm lug width. Now this is a bit of a feature with a lot of Casios. They have this 18mm lug and the tapered resin band, in this case on this one. Looks good on the wrist, but does mean that if you change the strap, can look a little bit unusual. The body of the watch looks a little oversized in proportion to the strap if you're replacing it. I'll pop a couple of shots up of it on a couple of NATO straps that I've got. You can see what I mean. Doesn't look bad, but doesn't, I think, look as good as it does on the original strap. So there you are. You can save some money by not spending it on straps. So, world time. This is this one's big thing. A lot going on in the dial. The analog in the top left, that always represents the home time. We've got a little world map here that shows you the time zone that you're in and a number of features underneath. So cycling through the mode button, the first mode puts it into dual time. So we've got a GMT watch for $27 effectively. I've got a lot of friends and family in the UK, so I have that one set to London. Then we've got 5 alarms, countdown timer, and stopwatch, all kind of standard features with digital watches at this price point. Now on this, if I press the search button here, it cycles through 3 pre-programmed time zones. So if you do a lot of business with or have a lot of friends across the world, you can set 3 different time zones and then back to the home time there. Now backlighting, it's not electroluminescent, but that is pretty good. Looks really good at nighttime. 2 decent LEDs, one in each of the bottom corners, kicking out a reasonable amount of light there. Adjustments up here. The only thing I haven't been able to do with this one is adjust that beep out. It does come with a hefty little manual for the module in English and Spanish, but I haven't been able to work that one out yet. Now, 10-year battery, lithium battery, fantastic. Forget about it for the next 10 years. And you can also forget about taking it in water, or rather forget about the watch when you take it in water. 100 meters water resistance, which for me is the kind of no nonsense. You can take it in the shower, you can take it swimming, you can even do a bit of snorkeling and some low-level diving with this one. Not really an issue for me. I can barely swim, so it's not going to get all that wet in my company. So let's pop it on the wrist, see how it looks. We've got a nice little signed Casio tang buckle. I know it's just plastic, but I think that's a really nice little touch. All of these Casios have that. I've got a 7-inch wrist, and I think this looks good on me. I'll do it up nice and tight. Now, I think that 18 with a taper sits really well. Got a bit of wrist presence, not too ridiculous. Doesn't sit too far out on the wrist there. So why did I buy it? Well, $27. They're kind of guilt-free watch purchases, these ones. This has become my go-to beta watch when I was rebuilding a computer, playing on my bicycle, doing anything where I don't really want to get a watch scratched up and dirty. Then this one's a bit of a no-brainer. Mineral crystal glass, I would recommend investing in a little tube of polywatch here. I've polywatched a couple of my other Casios. They definitely benefit from that. Should you buy one of these? Yeah, I think if you've got a wrist size similar to mine, you don't mind the aesthetic, it's a fantastic watch. Casio do a lot of great watches around this price range, but I think with that fairly tenuous link to James Bond, it's got a bit of appeal of its own there. So yes, buy one of these.